for heroes proved in liberating strife. Who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing something like this. Listen here. Oh, beauty by spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties.
Good morning, everyone. It's a very nice morning, and I'm glad everyone could attend today. Last year we weren't able to have the Veterans Day Memorial Service, as you all know, because of COVID. But this year we have a great turnout, and I'm very happy to see people here. To the right of me, I have Select Board Member David Wonar. To the left of me, I have Select Board Member Kevin Gaspar. And somewhere running around, and I saw a state representative, there he is, Mr. Chris Hendricks over there in the corner, come here today and celebrate. I wanted to start off with a little thing, a few words that I wrote with the help of a veteran friend of mine, a gentleman named Jerry Payette, who I work with over at the Shepherd's Pantry over in the north end of Acushnet. And use some of his words as well as mine. I stand here this morning as chairman of the Board of Selectmen, humbled. I am humbled by my presence with the many veterans who made a decision at one time in their lives to the service of protecting my freedoms. Someone who wrote a blank check to the United States of America when they took their oath of enlistment. On this Veterans Day, we celebrate and commemorate the dead and living. We know at least one veteran that served this country with honor. Still others know of someone who was killed or missing in action and never returned from their tour of duty. And still others know of a veteran who returned scarred physically, emotionally, or both, and find life difficult to deal with. We meet in a quiet remembrance of a historic day, November 11th, 1918. Did not just signify the end of World War I, it also signified a beginning of peace. Because as the philosopher St. Augustine said back in 400 AD, the purpose of all wars is peace. And on this day, November 11th, 2021, we can also take to heart in knowing that fragile peace exists with the end of our country's longest war in Afghanistan. In a world tormented by tension and possibilities of conflict, our experiment continues in our present day, still imperfect, still short of its responsibilities, but it does offer hope that someday nations can live in harmony. With the countless battles fought by our servicemen and women over the years, and those who weren't in battle but served our country honorably, Veterans Day is a day to honor and thank them all for their service. We cannot and should not take freedom and liberties for granted. I'll leave you with this quote by VFW past Commander-in-Chief Richard Eubank. Remembering gives true meaning to sacrifice and service. Millions of American lives were forever altered because they donned a uniform to protect the freedoms and rights we take for granted. We owe an eternal debt of gratitude to them. And acknowledging Veterans Day is the time that debt comes due. It's our way of keeping faith with former defenders. And to all the veterans standing here in front of me, I thank you for your service. Okay, keeping in, here we go. Very much. It's the Holly Briar Pipers. Next on our agenda, we have a recording of a letter from a Civil War soldier from Smithfield, Rhode Island. A letter he wrote on the eve of battle to his wife that he says he may never return to see her again. Tommy?
A week before the Battle of Bull Run, Sullivan Ballou, a major in the 2nd Rhode Island Volunteers, wrote home to his wife in Smithfield.
July the 14th, 1861, Washington, D.C. Dear Sarah, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. And lest I should not be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write a few lines that may fall under your eye when I am no more. I have no misgivings about or lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how American civilization now leans upon the triumph of the government, and how great a debt we owe to those who went before us through the blood and suffering of the Revolution. And I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life to help maintain this government and to pay that debt. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence can break. And yet my love of country comes over me like a strong wind and bears me irresistibly with all those chains to the battlefield. The memory of all the blissful moments I have enjoyed with you come crowding over me, and I feel most deeply grateful to God and you that I've enjoyed them for so long. And how hard it is for me to give them up and burn to ashes the hopes of future years, when, God willing, we might still have lived and loved together and see our boys grown up to honorable manhood around us. If I do not return, my dear Sarah, never forget how much I loved you, nor that when my last breath escapes me on the battlefield, it will whisper your name. Forgive my many faults and the many pains I have caused you. How thoughtless, how foolish I have sometimes been. But oh, Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they love, I shall always be with you in the brightest day and the darkest night. Always. Always. And when the soft breeze fans your cheek, it shall be my breath, or the cool air, your throbbing temple. It shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone, and wait for me, for we shall meet again.
Sullivan Ballou was killed a week later at the First Battle of Bull Run.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will have the raising of the American flag. We have 5 representatives, each from a different branch of the military. We have Mr. Joe Costa, representing the United States Army. We have Mr. Gilly Cabral, representing the United States Navy. We have Mr. Cliff Hathaway, representing the United States Marine Corps. We have Mr. Tom DaCosta, representing the United States Air Force. And we have Mr. Bob Pepin, representing the Coast Guard. Gentlemen. Thank you very much, gentlemen. At this time, we have the Ford Middle School Choir Group under the direction of Ryan Shandrun. We're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance for us all. National anthem. Please all rise for the national anthem. Very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we have the same 5 representatives for the laying of the memorial wreath
Hi, Dad.
at the memorial. Thank you.
Hi, Dad. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Instructions. and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our Veterans Service today. And I'd just like to take this time to thank a number of people for all their efforts that they've done. I'd like to thank the crowd for attending. Very nice turnout today on this beautiful Veterans Day morning. I'd like to thank the police and fire departments for their participation. I'd like to thank Tom Fort, sound engineer, who provided the acoustics for this memorial service. Also, I'd like to thank the musical director Brian Shanrun and the students of the Ford Middle School choir group. I'd like to thank Tom DeCosta for his efforts in building this memorial, as well as all the other people involved, because I know it just wasn't him. He had a lot of help, and still continues to have help in the purchases and laying of the new bricks. I'd like to thank the U.S. Coast Guard. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to fly over in about a minute or two, so I'd like everyone to hang out and see that. I'd also like to thank our presenters of the flag and the wreath, fellow select board members for attending this morning. Ron Cormier for putting this all together for us. Thank you, Ron. And all active veterans and future military members. Thank you again. Okay, and I've also been informed that the poppies on the chair are open to take home if you'd like. They were donated anonymously, hand knitted. The poppies representative of Veterans Day. And I'd like to also tell everybody they have coffee, hot chocolate, and donuts behind the wall. So we just hang out, grab a cup of coffee, and let's watch the U.S. Coast Guard fly over. And more donuts are on the way. Thank you very much. Have a good day.